Hi, it's 8 p.m. London time, December 2nd, 2015. We've got an hour till the close of the New York Stock Exchange at 4 o'clock New York time. The markets have moved lower. The equity market earlier, my video earlier today, that was unchanged. We're now down about 150. Janet Yellen made some comments earlier today, and she's kind of confirmed that they will raise rates in December, and it's just seems they put themselves into a corner. I'm sure they would not want to raise rates, looking at global economic conditions, the price of oil, and all other commodities, and all the economic data we're seeing now points to pretty much a slowdown. Even the Atlanta Fed has revised their GDP figure from 2.4 to 1.3 for the fourth quarter. So unfortunately, they have to do it because they pretty much promised the market that they will do it. So it's interesting listening to that, reading that story on Zero Hedge about Yellen today. And then I was listening to a video by Finance and Liberty on YouTube. Elijah Johnson, he interviewed Bo Pony, who does psychoanalysis of stock markets, currencies, precious metals. And he has been calling for a very long-term cycle bottoming next year in the stock market. He has been calling for the market to go lower in the stock market since, I would say, end of October, and he's kind of been proven wrong, but we haven't had a higher high. And one thing I would say is that even though the U.S. stock market is near all-time highs here, if you look at markets like the FTSE in the UK, we are about 10% off the highs. So I think that's a non-confirmation, and there are other global markets that are very weak and way off their highs. So I kind of agree with this cycle work. And he goes on to say that he expects the price of gold to explode going into next year. He expects a big move in December. He according to his cycle work, and he doesn't know what's going to trigger that, but it could be a short covering rally. Well, that would make sense. And the other point I'd like to make is that one man who was the pioneer of cycles work and made a fortune in the early 1900s was WD Gann. And one thing WD Gann always said, and I think it's interesting to note, is that time is always more important than price. And that means even though we could be at all-time highs right now in the Dow, if the cycle ends, it's going to end. And it doesn't matter where the price is, the market will move. So you could argue the same thing for gold and silver, even though the sentiment is very, very negative right now. People who have invested in precious metals are down and out, and the price is very low compared to the last 4 or 5 years. If the cycle is going to change, it doesn't matter where the price is, and that's according to WD Gann. The other point that Bo Pony makes is that he thinks there will be a very big turn in the stock market. We will see a huge crash going into next year, and he expects the dollar and paper assets, that includes U.S. Treasuries, to drop as well. Usually, when we see a big crash and a slowdown in the economy, Treasuries do very well. And I think a lot of people have become complacent because we've had 25 years of very slow economic growth and recession in Japan. And the Japanese government bond yields have remained low for very long. So they most people expect treasuries to do the same. You know, if we see a severe recession, a crash in the stock market, it will be interesting. That will catch a lot of people unprepared if we have a stock market crash, a dollar crash, and a treasury market price crash, and a move towards physical assets, i.e., precious metals and other commodities. It doesn't feel like that's going to happen right now, but that's the things with market. That's how the nature of markets. They never, they fool people. Markets. So interesting interview, Bo Pony. I recommend that. It's Finance and Liberty channel on YouTube, and the interview is from November 23rd, 2015. So as I finish here, the Dow is now down 160. Gold is at 1054, and silver 1402. Have a good evening. Bye.